in reality, there's a lot of similarities between Ellie and Abby.
Okay, I need to start off with, like, the socks. Can we just have a moment for the socks?
Yes, I have Canadian socks on. There's a flag, and on the other side it says Canada.
Come on, like, I love that you brought this out.
Thank you. Well, I thought it was very appropriate for today. I think I got these from the airport in Vancouver, which is where we shot most of season 2.
I mean, season 2, there's so much to talk about, and then there's so much that we can't talk about because of spoilers, so we're going to keep it in code a little bit.
Okay.
People who've played the game kind of know where the storyline's going. What was your reaction to the arc of Joel and Ellie's storyline?
Yes, I sort of knew where it was going to go, but I remember reading the scripts and, like, it really, like, impacted me emotionally, which I've never, like, cried reading a piece of writing before, but I did reading this, and yeah, it was absolutely, I mean, I can't really say anything about it, but their arc is, like, really, like, emotional.
Yeah.
This season, and I'm looking forward for people to see it.
So, you know, I haven't played the games, so I don't know where we're going. I'm like with the audience that hasn't played the games and doesn't know what's coming, but I just got goosebumps from your description. In the second season, there's a broken promise fractures the relationship. You have kind of had this idea that Ellie had an idea of Joel's, like, broken promises. You've talked about that. So what makes you think that?
I think that Ellie is too smart to believe him. Like, I think that I think that she spent enough time with him that she knows him so well and, like, can see that there's something not truthful about what he's saying. But I think it's too painful for her to, like, think about the fact that maybe he lied or would even, like, consider lying to her about something that is obviously so important to her. So I think that she just doesn't, that's why she, like, decides to believe him and say, like, okay, and go to Jackson with him, because the alternative is far too scary. Her biggest fear is ending up alone, and so the idea of that and anything that threatens that, she just, like, I don't think she can even, like, look at it or consider. I
like that you talked about that, ending up alone. In this season, I mean, first season we really got to see the closeness of Joel and that relationship grow. But in this season, we've got Isabella, who plays Dina. Let's talk about building that relationship and how fun it was.
It was amazing. Isabella made it so easy. She's very easy to get along with, so bubbly, so her energy is very infectious, and she brought that energy and that joy and that light to set every single day without fail. I don't know how she did it. She was shooting another movie at the time, was, I think, as exhausted as the rest of us, but just had this, like, real, like a kind of like a youthful, like, spirit to her.
Yeah.
I felt like an old man most of the time, and she just was this little, like, sprite almost. Yeah. But yeah, we got to know each other on set. We didn't have time before. It's kind of similar to me and Pedro season 1. We didn't have any time to, like, bond or get to know each other. So all of the chemistry that you see between us in the show, like, that was, we were, like, developing that as we were shooting. Yeah, really cool.
Oh my goodness, because I've seen episode 1, and the chemistry between you two is so great.
Thank you.
Well, while shooting in Canada, you discovered you were on the spectrum, autism spectrum.
Yes.
And how has that affected you as an actor? I mean, I'm just curious, like, you could have kept that to yourself, but instead you wanted to share that.
Yeah, I found out during season 1. Well, I went through the diagnosis process in season 1. It was something, in terms of sharing it, was something that wasn't, like, a big decision of, like, I'm going to talk about this. It kind of, like, when I spoke about, like, gender identity for the first time, it's just sort of, like, a natural thing of, like, why wouldn't I talk about it? It, like, informs so much of my everyday life and my work, and it's kind of, I think it's nice to be able to share that, and if anything, it just makes me even more free in terms of, like, being as I am. And I think acting-wise, it's sort of the reason that I can act, maybe. I don't know. I think there's so much of my life I've just been, like, watching and perceiving, like, tiny nuances in people's facial expressions, and I think that I've sort of been able to just absorb that without having to like consciously, like for Ellie, I didn't like study her. I just watched the gameplay and watched her for like 10 minutes and then like knew her.
Right.
And so I think that that's sort of a benefit of that. Comes with a vast array of challenges for sure, but some of the like really beautiful parts of being autistic for me have been sort of being highly aware of the nuances of people's emotions and expressions, and I think that's probably what helps with acting quite a lot.
Well, I think it's incredible that you're sharing that part of yourself.
Thank you.
And I think it's brave. I think you're also connecting with the world outside. And I think that's what it is, being human. We're all different. We all have our thing. Everybody's got something that makes them them.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you. That's kind of you.
Season 2. We're so excited. I have no idea where it's going, and I'm just on the edge of my seat.
That's so exciting.
You're incredible. I am just such a fan.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Nice to meet you.
The socks are epic.
Go Canada!
So Abby, she really carries like a heavy emotional weight
Yeah.
the entire season. Tell us how you tapped into that heaviness and built this character.
Yeah. Neil Druckmann has really set the groundwork, I guess, and the tone with the game. And so that was nice that already exists in the world. And then to have that as sort of a reference point, I think was helpful. And then the scripts were so good. I mean, they're so brilliant and so detailed. And what I appreciated about the scripts were just how they just do go a bit deeper than we do in the game. So for Abby's emotional journey, we're definitely tapping into a lot more in the show. And when we first meet her in the first episode, I really wanted to just get the vulnerability and the raw place that she's in. I wanted to get it right, and I guess it was just sort of she's also just a very broken person, and wanting to tackle that as well was definitely really important to me. So I think how I tackled it was just the scripts are so good, and the collaboration with Craig and Neil was definitely helpful for taking her on.
You also have to credit yourself because you're like really great.
Thank you.
You really do tackle this. But speaking of tackling and the physical element, talk about the stunt work and the physicality of this character and how you trained for it.
Yeah, I guess the nature of how these things go, I didn't get a lot of time to train. It all happens really fast, especially when I guess my first meeting with Neil and Craig, it was like the meeting happened, they said they wanted me to be in the show and play Abby, and then it was moving from there, and it all kind of was happening very quickly and very fast. And I was going up to Vancouver a lot to do combat training, wire work, a lot of wire work, but I think there's also a lot of things I can't talk about because spoiler
That's
territory,
okay.
But I was doing a lot of the stunt training I think it also helped like the way I stood, because a lot of what I wanted to bring to Abby was just like the way she like presents herself, and her vibe energetically is pretty, I think, a little intimidating because she is so strong physically. I think she is physically strong, but to me, I think where her strength comes from is actually her past and what she's holding in, and I think that was the most important thing to me. So yeah, in the stunt training, it was it was very helpful to like get into like that kind of mindset and that vibe of just someone who is really energetically powerful and intimidating.
That's a great way of putting it
Yeah.
too. So in the video game, Abby is made out more like Joel, and so as characters in the show, do you see parallels between their characters?
I actually think the parallels are more between Ellie and Abby. I think that they actually are mirrors of each other in a lot of ways, and how you know, yes, you could kind of see and paint Abby as this villain and evil character from the game, but I think that in reality there's a lot of similarities between Ellie and Abby, and all of the characters in the show, really. But I think it's a really interesting thing that Craig was I think really excited about, just diving deeper into those parallels between the two characters.
Congratulations. Also, shooting in British Columbia, I'm sure, was not too bad.
Not too bad. Great food, great scenery. My God, it was so beautiful. It's just all like we were up in Whistler. It was just really stunning. I loved it.
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.